Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekdaily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about why I believe that we may be about to see a $23,000 Bitcoin rally starting as soon as tomorrow. This morning, Watcher.guru put out an article which was exceptionally important. Less than an hour ago, they stated that the Valkyrie co-founder believes that tomorrow we will see Bitcoin spot ETF approvals and trading as early as Thursday. Today we're going to be talking about that exact quote, and we're also going to be diving into the technicals of why a Bitcoin rally may come following a Bitcoin spot ETF approval, and why that rally may blast well beyond the original price target of $50,000. Today, Bitcoin is trading at almost $47,000. Many altcoins are dipping, giving great buying opportunities for the altcoin space and great gains for any Bitcoin holders. Today, we're going to be talking about the next steps for the Bitcoin bull market and how we can profit therein. So let's go ahead and read some chat and welcome everybody to the stream. We've got Christina Orozco here, Sean, Crypto Surge, Connor, Janine, I think I got that right, Matt, Chris, Grand Roofing Incorporated, Philly Skills, Simba, Yikers, Alex, the French Toast Breakfast Club, Grand Roofing Incorporated, it's me, Yali, Wreck the Bears, Ice Blink, Classic Gamers HQ, Mean Beam, Okerlund, Bradley Jordan, RJ, BM, Mike Lowry, Grand Roofing again, Zachary D, Tomislav Ferber, BM, Nunzibro, CBD Suddy, Oser Croire, let's say that, Victor Sleeves, One House Productions, Jizna Tom, Queen, Eye of the Beholder, Dievo, Marley, Yikers, Kirby, Dax, OMAC, Ben Addison, CBD Suddy, Alexander, Faba Spicer, and I think I got everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate all of you for being here today. Hope you are all having a wonderful morning. Let's go ahead and get started. We need to start out by talking about the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market over here on CoinMarketCap, and then we've got a very important article to dive right on into. Bitcoin right now trading at $46,500, up 2.59% over the last 7 days, up 4% in the last 24 hours. However, it is down slightly in the last hour. There has been a slight corrective movement in preparation for the buy the news event that I believe is going to take place tomorrow. Right now, Bitcoin is leading the charge with the altcoins having a major corrective movement going on. Ethereum is down 5% in the last 7 days, down almost 2% in just the last hour, going through a large correction. Binance is down 4% in the last 7 days. Solana hovering around $100, down 10% in the last 7 days. There have been some great buying opportunities on some of your favorite altcoins over the last 24 hours. Hope that you've been able to load up some altcoin bags for the bull market. Cardano dropping all the way down to 50 cents. Very excited about that. Going to be buying even more today, more than likely. It is down 17% over the last 7 days. Avalanche down 14%. Dogecoin down 15%. Polkadot down 17%. These are discounts staring you in the face, and if you miss them, then I am sorry for you, because these are some of the lowest prices you're going to see on these altcoins if the ETF is approved. If the ETF is denied, then of course we may see much lower lows. But if it's approved, these may be the last times you ever see these prices for the altcoins, because it won't just be Bitcoin going through a massive rally. Chainlink down 13% in the last 7 days. Polygon down 20%. Polygon was trading above $1. It's now down to 80 cents. Great buying opportunities. Even Internet Computer, after its massive run, correcting down to $12.72. Litecoin's down 11%. Uniswap down 20%. Great deals on some of these coins, guys. Don't miss them. Near is down 20%. Loaded up on a lot of these yesterday. Probably going to load up on a little bit more today. If you find yourself in a position where you're able to lower your average cost basis on a certain cryptocurrency today because of these deals, then that's a good opportunity to buy these deals, because it means that you will literally be bringing down the average entry price of the entire bag. And if you do that, then you will be getting what we call a golden dollar cost average opportunity. Oftentimes, when you're dollar cost averaging every single week or so, you're raising the average cost basis. So let's say you have 7 trades at 7 different prices. The average entry price is your average cost basis. If you can lower that, good for you. You don't get to do that very often in a bull market, but this is one of those opportunities where you just might. I was able to load up on several altcoins for a lower cost basis than I had originally entered into them on. For example, with Uniswap and with Cardano, I was able to bring those down just by a couple of percentage points. Was pretty excited about that yesterday. Now, let's talk a little bit about why the markets are moving in the way that they are. And one article in particular, I believe, is of extreme importance. It shows up over here with Watcher.Guru. If you guys are not already following Watcher.Guru, I think that you should. And they tweeted this tweet about an hour ago. Just in, spot Bitcoin ETF applicant Valkyrie co-founder says he expects approval on Wednesday and trading to start on Thursday, that being the 10th and the 11th, i.e. tomorrow and the day after. This is the article they linked to over on their own website. In an interview with Fortune, Valkyrie co-founder Stephen McClurg said he expects their spot Bitcoin ETF will receive approval on Wednesday. This is the Valkyrie spot Bitcoin ETF. If Valkyrie gets an approval, most likely many of the other applicants will also get approval. If anybody is going to know whether an approval is coming or not, it would be the very applicants themselves, because they are the people, especially when you're dealing with the co-founder. This is not some customer service representative that has no idea what's going on in executive. This is the co-founder of the company who has no doubt been in these meetings with members, dozens probably of members with of the Securities and Exchange Commission. There is just about nobody other than the SEC themselves that will have a better take on whether or not the ETF will be approved. I haven't spoken to anyone at the SEC. Many of the analysts that you're reading haven't spoken to anyone at the SEC. We don't have connections like that because the people at the SEC are very secretive. But the people that are working for the approval do, and what they say should be taken very, very seriously. This is the man that put forth one of the ETFs in particular, and he believes that they will be seeing an approval tomorrow. Moreover, he predicted that trading would then start as soon as Thursday morning. That is 48 hours from now. Stephen McClurg believes that his own Bitcoin spot ETF will be trading. Again, if Valkyrie gets an approval, it would be unthinkable that BlackRock would be denied. It would also be unthinkable that ARK Invest would be denied, because the deadline tomorrow is around ARK Invest's ETF. If Valkyrie were to get an approval tomorrow, it would likely be because ARK got an approval. It's almost unthinkable that BlackRock wouldn't get an approval. So just kind of extrapolating what he's saying here, if we are truly going to see an approval of the Valkyrie spot ETF tomorrow, that would likely be because of ARK Invest's approval, considering that's their deadline, and we would almost certainly see BlackRock approved, because BlackRock's almost certainly not going to get a denial if many other asset managers are getting an approval, if many other fund managers are getting an approval. With that stated, basically what Valkyrie is saying, Valkyrie's co-founder Stephen McClurg is saying, is that they're probably going to get an approval, and based on the way that we can extrapolate this, ARK and BlackRock are probably in that pile too. So tomorrow, I've been telling you, I believe that at least 3 of the asset managers are going to be fund managers are going to be getting approvals, and that seems to be the case coming up. Additionally, McClurg discussed U.S. SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. Off of Malign, McClurg shared a different perspective on the chairman. Specifically, the Valkyrie co-founder said that Gensler has been good for Bitcoin throughout his tenure. I wonder how much of that is trying to seek favor with the chairman and how much of that is his actual opinion. To be fair, Gary Gensler's rhetoric has mostly been against the cryptocurrency space rather than against Bitcoin, although he has definitely had some negative rhetoric towards Bitcoin itself. And of course, he's been very staunchly opposed to a Bitcoin ETF thus far. I do believe that Stephen McClurg is correct. I do believe that we're going to be seeing ETF applications being approved tomorrow, but what will that do for the market, and how can we profit from that movement? Because, of course, the entire purpose of analysis is to give us wisdom and discernment to properly manage our finances, that we may be able to grow them here in these markets. So let's talk about the Bitcoin market right now. Just yesterday, we published this trade setup where we talked about how Bitcoin would likely go through a major rally, and if it did, then we would be able to potentially go into an entry around 46.5, have a relatively wide stop loss, but that relatively wide stop loss after we hit the take profit. I.e., if we go up to $50,000, then we would widen the stop loss. But until then, of course, we would maintain our regular stop loss of about 0.1%. We did actually get an entry on this. Of course, we didn't go all the way to 50K because this was a trade setup for the approval of the ETF. The ETF has not yet been approved, but Bitcoin managed to rally up here, setting a new bull market high all on its own yesterday, just after stream. This is exceptionally important news, and anybody who saw yesterday's trade and took our trade setup would have probably made a considerable amount of money. The entry to the top was about 2%. Again, we recommend a standard 0.1% trailing stop loss unless otherwise stated. So with that, you would have likely gotten at least a 1.75% return, because that probably would have led you up to here, about 2%. You probably would have entered this trade up to about here, drop down to about 1.25. If you would have been a little bit more actively managing it, then you may have held it for a little bit longer. You would have been able to make at least 1% there. So hopefully that trade was helpful for you guys. But today I want to compare our current market to a recent market and show you why the next couple of days may be the beginning of one of the largest rallies that Bitcoin has witnessed in half a decade. Let's get started. We're going to compare to November of 2023, and we're also going to compare to quarter 4 of 2020, starting right now. In December of this year, in November of this year, we saw Bitcoin enter into an ascending triangle pattern just like this. We had a zone of resistance right here, and Bitcoin had an uptrending level of support right here. This is what we call a symmetrical triangle pattern, and for anybody who's gone through the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, you will know that ascending triangle patterns have a 70% likelihood of breaking bullish, especially when the market is as bullish as it is right now. That 70% likelihood is corroborated by the underlying bullishness in the space, and of course the hype around the approval of the Bitcoin ETF coming a few months out. Now that's tomorrow, but back then that was a few months out because we're looking at November of 2023. A very specific pattern played out here. Bitcoin would rally to $38,000 once, pull back down to the uptrend a second time, set a baseline here, pull back to the uptrend a second time, hit the resistance a second time. One resistance touch, two resistance touch, one support touch, two support touch. We would gradually rally. We had a third support touch here, rally up, set our third resistance touch, a fourth support touch, a bounce through and a fourth resistance touch, a slight correction, then blast off. And from that blast off, Bitcoin would rally from the beginning to the end $7,500, a 20% movement. That seems like a lot, but what may be coming could dwarf just that. Over the month of December, a very similar pattern played out, where Bitcoin would touch its resistance, in fact, as a springboard, one time, then come up to the resistance the first time, pull back down, back test the support a second time. In this case, is this uptrending level of support right here. Then we would come up and test our resistance a second time, back test the support a third time, test the resistance a third time. But just like in November, the third touch was higher than the first two. Hopefully you can see that there. You can see right here, the third touch was higher than the first two. Okay? So we had a third touch that was higher than the first, corrected back down, tested the uptrending level of support a fourth time, bounced, set a new high, fourth resistance touch on the resistance zone, this time between 45 and 47, instead of back here between 38 and 39. Now we're cooling off and correcting, and there is major news on the horizon. Well, if you'll remember, after that fourth touch over here, in November, Bitcoin would go on to have a small corrective movement right here. In this case, it was a bull flag back in November. In our current market, it is much the same. It's about a bull flag right here. We've had a correction down to 45, back tested our support level with a candle wick. As you can see, we set resistance at 45.5. Just a couple of hours ago, we back tested 45.5 as support. So we're building a floor on top of the resistance that we witnessed be built throughout the month of December. And this is prime territory for a breakout if we were to ignore the fundamentals. But of course, we're not going to. We can't. We cannot ignore the driving factor behind the last $23,000 worth of rally that we've witnessed. Bitcoin rallied from $25,000 to $48,000 in a 23 grand movement. And I believe that we are about to see another $23,000 rally for reasons I'll be getting into in just a moment. But before we do, I also want to first preface by analyzing the 2020 market back in quarter four, before we broke all-time high and before we began our run. Multiple factors were impacting the Bitcoin market during this time. We had the pandemic in full swing. There were millions of people hospitalized. There was quite a few fatalities, to say the least, and significantly for this market, the global economy had been shut down. Many people were home because of the quarantine, and they were receiving stimulus checks. We were seeing employers receive Paycheck Protection Program loans, which they would be able to be forgiven for if they met very simple criteria. And they were using that to pay people's paychecks. So many times people were not working and making almost double what they would have been if they were working, and they were stuck at home. At the time, Bitcoin was already, based on the halving cycle, preparing for a bull market. Combine the zero interest rates with the quantitative easing, with the easy money that was accessible to the American retail, and the trendiness of Bitcoin and its fellow stablecoins, and its fellow meme coins, we saw Bitcoin move into this pattern right here. Perfect storm of bullishness. Bitcoin moved into an ascending triangle pattern with resistance around $20,000. We'll just go back there on the 4-hourly chart so that we can see a little bit easier. We moved into an ascending triangle pattern with resistance right around $20,000, an uptrending level of support that had guided the market for the last 14 months, continuing to be in play. I'm sorry, not for the last 14 months. The last 9 months continued to be in play. You can see that uptrend right here. And when we did finally break this resistance level, we broke it exceptionally well. We rallied 22.65% in the span of less than 48 hours, and within 120 days, Bitcoin would go on to rally. I'm sorry, not even within 120 days. Within less than 30 days, Bitcoin would go on to rally by 23%. Sorry, $23,000, a 115% movement. Again, in just a month. Now, keep in mind, a $23,000 movement at that time was 115% gain. Bitcoin more than doubled and added almost $300 billion worth of market capitalization to its market in under a month. Fast forward to today, and we find ourselves in a much similar position. Bitcoin at the very moment is gearing up with this ascending triangle pattern, which is already starting to break out of, as we've seen recently. It is gearing up for a breakout, and just like in 2023, there are a plethora of very strong bullish fundamentals that are backing the space. We have the likelihood of a Bitcoin spot ETF coming in tomorrow. Mañana, we have a spot ETF coming, which will be the most significant bullish force that Bitcoin has ever experienced in history. I'm talking long-term here, not short-term. A sell the news event is possible, but in the long run, it will be the single largest catalyst of investment in the cryptocurrency space since the foundation of the market itself. And with that comes a massive amount of bullishness. But it's not just the Bitcoin ETF that brings a considerable amount of bullishness to the space. It's also the fact that the Federal Reserve is pausing interest rates. They have been paused since August, since July even, and they're likely going to stay paused at 5.25. It's highly unlikely at this point that we're going to see a Fed rate hike, but we will likely see a Fed rate drop at some point around the beginning of quarter two. At that point in time, we will also be experiencing the Bitcoin halving. So very similar to how the stars aligned to create a perfect storm of bullishness right around the halving, which is when we would have gone into a bull market anyway in 2020 and 2021. The exact same thing is happening this year. You need that context, because what I'm going to say next could shock you. And that is that I think that tomorrow we may begin our final ascent to all-time high. Yes, I did just say that. And the reason I say that is because Bitcoin has blasted through the vast majority of its resistance. Showing you what I mean, if we look at the VRVP, the visible range volume profile, you can see that the absolute vast majority of the resistance that we needed to break through from a volume profile standpoint has already been breached. If we remove many of our different lines here and just make this a little bit clearer, you know what? I'm going to do it. I don't want to, but I'm going to do it. No, actually, I won't. I'll go into another chart. If we look at another chart here, you can see that the only real resistance that sits above us here is the resistance from this high right here, March the 29th, 2022. That is our current resistance level. We've not quite reached there, but we're very close. After that, our next major resistance levels are this level here at $52,000. This is the shoulder line of the head and shoulders pattern that Bitcoin built here at the end of the bull market. And on top of that, we also have the Fibonacci retracement on logarithm and on linear chart. On the logarithm chart, we are above the 0.618 level, which is between $39,000 and $41,000. The 0.786 resistance level sits here at $50,000 flat. Of course, $50,000 is a big even as well. That's why we've been talking so much about it. And then if we go on to the regular chart, you can also see that the 0.786 level on Fibonacci on the regular chart gives us resistance at around $57,000. We can go ahead and remove the Fibonacci now because we have those levels in place, and you will see that there are a few resistance levels above Bitcoin, but not much. You can see here on the linear chart that Bitcoin has gone vertical, and there's no reason to believe that that's going to stop anytime soon. Even on the logarithm chart, it looks like it's going vertical. We have a minuscule amount of resistance above us compared to what we've already been through. You can see the resistance that we've been through here. Let's go back to January the 9th, 2022. I remember it like it was yesterday. January 9th, 2022, the odds did not seem in our favor. This is what the market looked like 1 year ago today. And this is the visible range volume profile that the market was looking at back then. If it'll show up, it will. This is what VRVP looked like. This is the insane amount of resistance that Bitcoin had to find its way through. The point of control was above us at 20K. We had to get above not last bull market's all-time high, but the bull market before that's all-time high. The last bull market's all-time high was 69. We were below the bull market before that's all-time high at 20K. Bitcoin a year ago today was trading at $17,000. Bitcoin has nearly quadrupled in a year. Let's keep that in mind. That's the amount of bullishness that has come in the lead up to the exchange traded fund, which, by the way, wasn't even really on the radar back here. We were just depressed because FTX stole everybody's money. That was the main point of conversation. You fast forward a year, put it on 10x, and we'll just kind of zoom forward. Bitcoin has made VRVP than we had seen before. If we pause and let it update, I don't know if it will because we're in the middle of a replay. But nevertheless, you can see this massive bulwark of resistance right here. All of that. We had to get through all of that between $31,800 and $41,000. And instead of being beneath that bulwark of resistance as we were, you can see here towards the end of 2024, we managed to blast straight through it, and it now stands as support. We've taken the elevator 15 flights to the north, and Bitcoin is in prime territory to blast farther. So, following logic, doesn't it stand to reason if Bitcoin is going to be even stronger this year than it was in 2023? Much of the SEC FUD has subsided. Grayscale won their case. XRP won their case. The bears lost. Hand over fist. The bears in both of those cases were now. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the market anymore because he went ahead and stepped down. That's been priced in. It's in the past. The attack against Binance is ongoing, but at the time being, doesn't seem to really be that big of a deal. Same thing with Coinbase. It seems that both of them are moving towards settlement, and that likely will occur. Many of the bearish factors that we witnessed in 2023 take over the market are no longer factors, or if they are very small, insignificant factors. Many of the bullish factors have gotten only stronger. We saw CPI was coming down. We saw the economy stabilize. We saw the FOMC slow down and now pause interest rates. The bullish factors have only gotten better, and the bearish factors have only gotten weaker. Now that we've managed to break through the majority of the resistance on that kind of strength, and we're moving into a market now where we're getting even stronger, the bears are getting even weaker, and we're about to see an approval, does it not stand to reason that we're just going to go straight to all-time high? That is what happened at the end of 2020. Bitcoin ranged between $13,500 and $6,000 for a year and a half. And then after it broke $13,000, we were at all-time high within 30 days. Okay? I believe that if we have an ETF approval within 30 days, honestly, probably more like within 2 weeks, we will be back at the all-time high. There's very minuscule resistance. The bulls are stronger this year than they were last year. The bears are weaker this year than they were last year. We are ever closer to the halving. The Federal Open Market Committee has paused interest rates indefinitely. We are almost certainly going to see an approval tomorrow, and we are likely going to see a massive breakout. to return to all-time high, Bitcoin needs to rally, say it with me now, $21,000 to $23,000, depending on where exactly you draw the number from. 46 to 69, that is $23,000. We're not exactly at 46, and the all-time high is not exactly 69, but it's roughly a $23,000 movement that we will be watching take place beginning more than likely tomorrow. If you guys are enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button. We just peaked out at 1,200 viewers. I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. If you have not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more content, because we got a lot of content coming out, and I don't want you to miss it, because we are going to make some money in this bull market, and we're going to use it to better the world. We're going to do good things with it, and I'm very excited for all of you guys who are here and learning about technical analysis, trying to download the wisdom of financial sovereignty. And thank you very much for coming with me on this journey, and I really appreciate everybody who has tuned in. Thank you so very much, and we're going to keep going here. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about how we can actually profit in this movement. So there are a couple of things that we can do. First and foremost, we can consider buying the Bitcoin market, and we can also consider buying the altcoin market. If you are not already a Bitcoin holder, I cannot guarantee you that what I'm about to say is going to happen, but I can say with a great deal of confidence that I think that this is what's going to happen. I do believe that you are going to find it hard to see these levels again. I think you are going to find it difficult to buy a $46,000 Bitcoin again in the future. And a large part of the reason for that is because of the huge rally that is about to ensue. When Bitcoin rallies up to all-time high, which it typically will do very quickly, it's going to be hard for it to fall all the way back down here, because we've got such a massive amount of support. So if you have not loaded up your Bitcoin bag, you might think, oh my goodness, I don't want to buy on the green. I get that. I understand. Same thing in the stock market. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to buy in the green. But what if you never see the levels again? Again, that's a what if. Okay, so that's a what if. I understand that. But I think it highly likely that you're going to have a hard time finding these levels again if we do see an exchange-traded fund approval tomorrow, which pretty much everybody has agreed is more than likely going to happen. It could be a denial. That could be why Gary Gensler is coming out and making, hey, don't FOMO in remarks, because they know that they're going to deny it and they want to cover their tail. So there is a possibility, even by some of the gesturing and the positioning that Gensler himself has done, that there could be a denial. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think literally everyone is wrong. I think that literally everybody on this is right, that there's going to be an approval, and it's probably going to be tomorrow. If tomorrow comes and we don't see an approval, yeah, there could be a drop, and in that case, then it may be a good idea to load up even more Bitcoin. But this may be one of the last times that the middle class is ever capable of gaining one whole Bitcoin within reason. If you want to own one whole Bitcoin, your opportunity is running out. And I don't mean to put so much time pressure on you that you go and make stupid or irresponsible or foolish financial decisions. But I am saying, if you're already in position and you've been thinking about loading up on Bitcoin, I think it's a good idea to get some. If you want to hold off and wait for a correction, you can, but I'm not sure it's going to come. Not sure it's going to come. What I also want to encourage us to do is to consider taking positions in altcoins. I believe that when Bitcoin goes on a massive run, it may take a while for the altcoins to really kick off, but they're eventually going to follow Bitcoin. They are eventually going to go through an altcoin cycle, and they are going to bring meteoric returns. Many of the cryptocurrencies on this list doubled last year, and I expect them to do nothing less next year. I do believe that the majority of these altcoins will 5 to 10x from where they are today, and it's even easier than normal to say that, because many of them are on corrections right now. Cardano's at 51 cents. Hooray. Avalanche, 13% down. Polkadot, down 15%. Chainlink, down 19.6%. ICP, down 3%. Sheeb, down 12%. Litecoin, down 11%. Uniswap's down 20% in 7 days. Trading volume hasn't been hit very big. It's just that the altcoins are correcting. My point here is that if you have not loaded up Bitcoin for the next 10 years, now may be your time. I am not a financial advisor, and I will not give you specific financial advice, to be clear. But if you're watching this stream, it's probably because you want to hear my opinion on things. And in my opinion, there is not going to be much better of a time to load up on Bitcoin than now. And for the next year to the next 2 years, I think now is a wonderful time to load up on altcoins for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think a year from now, many of them are going to be 5 times higher than they are right now. Number two, if you load up on them now, then you have the potential to sell them with long-term capital gains taxes When they're hitting all-time high, what coins? Well, basically everything in the top 20 to the top 30, but I'll give you a list anyway. I hold Solana, XRP, Cardano, Avalanche, Dogecoin, Polkadot, Chainlink, Polygon, Internet Computer, Sheeb, Litecoin, Cosmos, Uniswap, Stellar, Near Protocol. I also hold Celestia and Arbitrum. I'm not sure. I think I missed it. I think it's up here. Nope, it's down here. Arbitrum. I'm looking into getting some Caspa. I want to before it goes on a run. VeChain I'm holding some of. Again, I said Arbitrum. Algorand, Graph. Let's see, and a few others. If you're not holding some altcoins, I think you're missing out. And there are obviously altcoins that are further down the list that you can get in that are also going to bring considerable returns. But 5 to 10x ought to be enough to make life-changing wealth if your income and your expenses are in a good place. So make sure that if you have not already, to at least consider building yourself an altcoin portfolio for the bull market. Ultimately, your trades are your own, and you need to take responsibility for your own trades and your own investments. But in my opinion, I do believe that that is going to be a very bullish portfolio moving into the new year. Somebody said, no H-bar. Yes, I do have some H-bar. Actually, I forgot to say H-bar. So I do believe that we're going to see a massive rally coming in the next 12 months. And those of you that are trying to load up on Bitcoin for your kids or your kids' kids and build a trust fund, or if you are trying to hold Bitcoin for the long run, now's the time to get it, because it's going to be hard to get it in the future. It's going to be much harder to get it in the future. And if you're trying to make a significant amount of money in this bull market, then I do believe your window is also closing to get these altcoins in territory where you'll be able to 5 to 10x them. You're still going to be able to make profit if you buy them in 6 months, but you probably won't make as much. So let's go ahead and read some chat. I'm really excited to be here with you guys today, and I do hope that tomorrow when we come back on Coffee and Crypto, we will be talking about a spot ETF approval. Even as we are speaking, I have been checking over and over to see if there has been an approval. I don't see anything that has been done just yet. Luckily, after doing this for 6 years, I have the ability to browse the internet and read articles while I'm talking. Don't ask how I can do that. I'm not really sure, but I am. So let's go ahead and read some chat. Your boy 91 said Cosmos is full of opportunities. I agree. If the Blackrock ETF gets approved, when will it be available to buy on exchanges? Probably almost immediately. These exchanges, especially BlackRock, have a competition going on to see who can get the ETF online for trading the fastest. And BlackRock, being a company, a asset manager the size that they are, likely are going to be lightning quick with getting this trading up. As we read in this article this morning, the Valkyrie co-founder believes that we'll be seeing a Bitcoin ETF approval for their ETF tomorrow, which means that we'll also likely be seeing ARK and BlackRock's approval tomorrow, because it's unlikely that the SEC is going to try and approve them at different times, because then they'd be picking winners and losers. If they're going to approve the ETFs, they'll likely approve many of them all at once, and whoever gets approved a week later will probably be filing a lawsuit against them for, I don't know, obstruction of commerce or some kind of nonsense. Not so much nonsense, but it would make sense. But the point is, there will likely be an approval tomorrow, and Valkyrie's co-founder Stephen McClurg believes that their ETF will start trading as soon as Thursday morning. By the end of this week, we could see a huge amount of investment capital flowing into Bitcoin. I may have forgot to mention XRP earlier. I also hold XRP. Now, let's continue reading chat. All right, now I see somebody talking about something that Gensler just tweeted 30 minutes ago. That would have been while we were on stream, so I didn't see anything on that. So let's see what he said. Aha! Gensler always likes to tweet while we're live. Let's read. He just tweeted this literally 1 minute after we started the stream at about 10 a.m. sharp. If you're considering an investment involving crypto assets, be cautious. Crypto asset securities may be marked as new opportunities, but there are serious risks involved. Read SEC Investor Ed's director take. Interesting. Let's see what this is. Thinking of buying the latest cryptocurrency or token. Should you or shouldn't you buy the latest new cryptocurrency or token? I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and asked if they should invest in Bitcoin. I recently concluded an investor education program at a retirement community, and a woman said to me, my children keep telling me I need to hurry up and invest in Bitcoin. Is it safe? Have I already missed the boat? Seniors are not the only one interested in buying Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency-related investment. Millennials are also jumping on the bandwagon. While I can't give investment advice about Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency-related investment or product, I can provide advice on some things you should consider when deciding if an investment is right for you. Perhaps I'm reading this live. I haven't pre-read this. This came out while we were live. Perhaps the most important thing to know is the cryptocurrency-related investment markets are very different than our regulated securities markets. For example, our securities law provide important protections that you may not be getting when dealing in crypto-related investments. In many cases, you may not know exactly who you are dealing with, where your money is going, or what you are getting in return. For more detailed information, you can check out the Office of Investor Education and Advocacy's Investor Bulletin on ICOs. These digital assets have been trending and received the attention of celebrities, often through endorsements. You may see them on social media, radio, or TV promoting Bitcoin and a variety of other products and services. Never make an investment decision based solely on celebrity endorsements. Just because your favorite celebrity says a product or service is a good investment doesn't mean it is. Always do a thorough independent research on the product. That's absolutely right. Totally agree. Remember, guys, the SEC is not the boogeyman. They do have some things right. This is so far, at least that sentence anyway, is obviously correct. Make sure you're doing your own research. It's the half-truths we have to watch out for, guys. Trendy investments are especially ripe for fraudsters, so be aware that there's a real risk of fraud. Scam artists prey upon the newness of an investment opportunity when there isn't much history about the product. It's also easier to sell an investor on everyone is buying it sales pitch when there's a lot of buzz around a certain investment product. The pressure to buy a product right away mounts. I'm trying to see if there's anything else here about Bitcoin, because they mentioned Bitcoin a couple times, but they seem to be trying to dodge the concept of it. Don't fall for high-pressure sales tactics, the promise of guaranteed returns, or too good to be true claims. You should check out the red flags of investment fraud on investor.gov, as well as check to see if the investing professional you're dealing with is registered. Take time to make the right investment decision for you. Ask questions and demand clear answers. You can find simple truths such as who exactly am I contracting with and what will my money be used for here. You should understand if you lose money, there's a real chance the SEC and other regulators won't be able to help you recover your investment, even in case of fraud. If you do choose to purchase digital assets or tokens, recognize that they are new. There may be significant risk involved in putting your money into something that hasn't been around very long. A good rule of thumb when investing in a new product is to only invest money that you're willing to lose, so that it's not financially devastating if the investment doesn't pan out. One way to spread risk is to diversify your investments. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. That way, if your one investment loses money, the other investment can make up for it. Cryptocurrencies may be today's shiny new opportunity, but there are serious risks involved. Proceed with caution, do your research, evaluate your financial goals, and most importantly, don't flip a coin when you're making investment decisions. Before you invest, go to investor.gov to learn how to invest wisely and avoid fraud. All right, well, nothing particularly out of the ordinary there, other than what I will say is that he seems to be coming at Bitcoin quite hard over the last couple of days, and I do wonder if that's his way of saying, hey, don't buy Bitcoin, so that he can, yeah. Interesting. I just saw another article, actually. VanEck CEO says their spot Bitcoin ETF will start trading on Thursday. Tomorrow will be the day. BlackRock and VanEck just updated their spot Bitcoin ETF documents. The SEC will be the first to approve. Several Bitcoin ETF issuers anticipate SEC approval tomorrow, gearing up for a live launch on Thursday. So that's a good question. We're going to have to wrap it out at exactly on time today at 10:45. Has been so against cryptocurrency, trying to dissuade people from buying it, when at the same time, just about everybody who is anybody believes that they're going to see an approval. Why would Gensler be tweeting stuff like this? Why would he be of buying Bitcoin and crypto assets the same week that we are expecting an approval? I do wonder. Very confusing, isn't it? Very, very confusing. Why Gensler would be trying to FUD you out of buying cryptocurrency the same week that we're likely going to see an approval. The two ways I see it is either he knows that he's actually going to deny it, or he's trying to dissuade you from making some money. I don't know. It's very strange. I would love to hear your opinions on that. We've got a couple of minutes left, guys, but I want to go ahead and read some chat before we wrap it out. After halving, is there normally a correction for alts and Bitcoin? Yeah, kind of. Sounds like a last-ditch warning before it comes out, Josh Raphael said. Yeah, I think, ultimately, I think what he might be trying to do, because he's trying to position himself, right? He's a politician. He's a strategic individual. There's nothing wrong with being strategic, but I think he's trying to... Yeah, Cryptork made a very good point. Don't think he would bother if he was going to deny it. I think you're right. He just wants people to buy the ETFs. I think that's a good point, too. Great responses to that question, guys. I think you're right. I think he wants people to buy the ETF because he has actual judicial authority over the ETF, because the ETF is a security. Talk about hedging a little bit more, please. Yeah, that's what Gensler's doing. He's hedging himself. Tyler Richmond said, love your content, bro. I'm now here every day. Good to see you, Tyler. Welcome Thank you so much for being here. Guys, by the way, I'm going to keep reading chat, but I do want to let you know that you're about to make a lot of money in the next year if you invest wisely in the cryptocurrency space. But you don't want to lose all of that investment to a hacker, which is why we partnered with NordVPN to help protect you from hackers and help you to be able to browse the internet freely. If you have not already signed up for NordVPN, I highly recommend that you do. With the link in the description box down below, you can sign up with a huge discount and do it with no risk because there's a 30-day money-back refund guarantee. So sign up today, get started protecting yourself as you browse online. PJ Cornell is in chat, just donate $5. The institutions have been here since 2014, but they know when the dollar ends, the welfare state ends. They're not ready for that. Yeah, you can only bankroll things like that for so long before things start to get difficult. Let's see. Let's read some more chat. He doesn't specifically say Bitcoin in that message, but he may be delaying it at best. Yeah, I think the ETF is going to get approved, and I think he's trying to hedge his bets because he doesn't want to approve it, but I think he's backed into a corner. It's here by popular demand. He just can't stop it at this point. All right. Let's see. Shadrach Frost said, smokes. Folks, please smash the likes and give back the love and support that Jeb brings to us all week long. Take a moment and help his channel. Hashtag FinSov, hashtag HODL. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. There was, I just saw something on Twitter. I want to independently verify it, but Bitcoin ETF approval is trending. And many people are saying things like, I need to verify this, but many people are saying that BlackRock and VanEck just updated their spot. Okay, yeah, right. People are saying that VanEck's CEO believes that they're going to start trading on Thursday. Let me see if I can get an actual article for this. See if I can find something. See if Jan VanEck, I don't remember if he has a Twitter or not. He might have said it on Twitter. I can't find a direct quote from him. Jan VanEck. I don't think this is our friend. No, VanEck US. Yeah, don't see anything here. Ooh, interesting. VanEck tweeted 18 hours ago, hold on for dear life. Interesting. They've been trying. Intern wants you for ETF. Yes, they've been trying to get an ETF for a while. Okay, they quoted VanEck here. If spot ETFs are launched in the next few weeks, how much they raise? Yep. Okay. So a lot of people, and apparently several more of the CEOs, other than just the one I reported on this morning, believe that trading will begin on Thursday. So again, I've been telling you for a while, but this really is kind of last stop before Moonshot. So prepare yourselves. Things are about to go crazy. Something is insane. Something crazy is about to happen. And I don't want you guys to miss out on it. I'm seeing more Bitcoin signs in places I've never seen it before. Yes, it's the adoption's going absolutely nuts. Absolutely loving it. All right, guys, if you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because more content is coming up on all of this. Make sure to stay tuned. Sorry, I keep looking at the news to see if an approval is coming. It's kind of hard not to just watch everything like a hawk right now. But yes, all right. Make sure you guys stay tuned because more content will be coming. If an approval comes out, I will be trying to make content on it as quickly as I can. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell so you won't miss a single update, and I will see you guys in the next video. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.